10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, I'm Amanda with DevExpress and I am here with Don Wibier. Hey Don, how are you?
Hey, Amanda, and everybody else who's watching. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm very excited to do a new series of streams.
Oh
So
yeah, this is our first your oh my gosh, yours and mine, you and I's. I
it's our
don't know.
first
First stream of the
2024 day
year.
online. How? Yeah.
Happy New Year.
What to you?
All right, so you want to just give like a short explanation of what you're trying to do today?
Yeah, I mean, you can all see it on the screen already. I have our demo site, but in this particular case, I have our demo site concerning web forms. And now I hear a bunch of people think, like, what? Well, that's the whole idea. We're gonna check one of our DevExpress demos and see if we can, yeah, how we can migrate that or convert it or get it up and running on Blazor. Because, yeah, the impression is that there's a lot of projects still being done in web forms. People might consider upgrading it or replacing it with a more modern technology. So we're going to check out if it is possible, if, can we do it automatically, etc., etc. And yeah, that's
Okay. I do want to, I'm going to pop a question, Don, into the
yeah.
chat before we get started. So, are you considering migrating your existing web forms app to a more modern technology? So, that's the question. You just type your answer in the chat. Are you considering migrating your existing web forms app to a more modern technology? Let us know your answer. All right, Don.
I can feel another question coming as
Oh,
well. We'll talk about that later.
okay. Let's get
Particularly
this
if
one.
people answer with yes. And if you answer yes, then you should definitely stay on this stream because yeah, we're
Because we're
gonna
going to show you.
we're gonna show some tricks. Well, tricks. Yeah. Well, we're gonna do it.
All
All right.
right, take it away.
So yeah. Well, as you can see, we have this web forms demo site, which we still maintain. I mean, our web forms product is still being maintained and developed, and if there is any issues with it, we'll still fix it for you because we know that there is a huge code base out there running on web forms. So yeah, don't be afraid that we will like ditch it off or whatever and stop doing anything with it because we know that you still have a lot of projects running on it, so we will support it. But I mean, yeah, there is new technology already, and this might seem appealing to you, so it's definitely worth checking whether you could upgrade or yeah, upgrade to another technology or not. And for this application, actually, I had a small discussion with my colleague, with our colleague Paul Usher, our other evangelist.
Oh, Paul.
Told me if you want to do this, you need to go for the DX Hotels demo. And so we have. It's actually quite a nice. It's extremely good looking, I have to say.
Hmm.
So this is our web forms application, and this allows you to select the destination and book a hotel. Let's quickly go through it. And what it does, it will obviously not do it in a real hotel booking, but this is just a demo site. But here we have yeah, a number of hotels where you can check out its details. There is a filter bar on the side, which we will not cover today. I can assure you that. But I mean, we'll start with the basic stuff, and then we'll see how far we come with the homepage. Yeah,
So, I'm
that will be.
sorry, the comments, maybe it's just me, but these people in Beverly Hills can be arrogant.
awesome. I wouldn't know because I only drove through it once and I wanted to see the sign and I've seen it. So
You're done.
yeah. It was just, oh yeah, the Beverly Hills. It was just a lucky shot. So, but anyway, it's just to give you an impression on what the application does. So as you can see, it's quite a nice application. We will have a couple of challenges, but we'll see how to deal with that. So this is in a nutshell a couple of things that are available in that application. So yeah, let's get over to Visual Studio. I didn't prep a lot of things. I will actually start with a new project. The only thing that I did is in the demo site, I'll show you that as well. Let me create a new project here. In the demo site, the database is configured in the app data folder that comes with WebForms. And it's being attached to SQL Server on the fly. The only thing that I prepped is I took that database and just configured it to run into my SQL Server instance. It's a bit easier. That's the only thing that I prepped. So what we need to do, if I let's first create a new project, and in this case, I will go for the Blazor. Amanda, are you okay?
So, sorry. Sorry, I kicked my stand and all chaos
Yeah,
ensued. Sorry, Don.
yeah, I heard something and then I saw something. Okay. Um, all right, so let's continue. Let's give it a name like DX Hotels Blazor. This is going to be my application. I will put it in my in a different folder. Let's do that here, and then it doesn't take that anymore.
So while you're doing that, Don, another Don Keeling commented, I would love to migrate, but it seems too big of a project.
Well, it depends. As you will see, it will depend on many aspects of your application. So, yeah, I could imagine that it's a bit of work for here and there, um, but you'll never know. Maybe you'll get some tricks in this stream. Let's see. So I'm creating the application. Oh yeah, and there is one thing that I will not do at this stage because we will obviously run on Blazor 8, but the render mode and all that new stuff that comes with Blazor 8 with automatic client and server side, etc., etc. Let's first get that thing on Blazor and then maybe afterwards we can see if we can use the newer features of Blazor 8 as well, because we need to take a quantum leap anyway. So in this case, I will put the render mode on server. So this will typically mean that we will be building a Blazor server application. So once that is done, oh, here it is. Yeah, we need to do the themes. I will in this case do the bootstrap, the neutral bootstrap, or maybe we could do like the orange one as well. The side had some orange. Maybe we can take this one. And it is now preparing on my other screen. All right, so here we have our plain Blazor application. It's just the result of the project template. What I will also do, which is quite convenient if you want to migrate, I'm gonna add another project, which is the original one. So I'm gonna add, and in this case, I know that it is a website project, which is possible with WebForms. So I'm gonna add this one, and this is, let me see, this is on my C drive. And then we have to go to users, public, documents, and then there is demos, DevExpress demos, components, ASP.NET, and we will have the hotel booking application. We can do the tablet or the desktop, but let's first start with the desktop. Yeah, and this is it. So now I have both solutions or both projects in one solution, so I can easily copy stuff forward and back. Because we will try to copy obviously as much as possible. One thing that I need to check here is the connection string, and that was in the web.config. And what you can see here, this is what I was talking about. This is using that attached DB file name construction, but I'd like to change that to, let me see how this, I need to change this into database, I think. And then it's going to be hotel booking. And this seems to be okay. And to make sure that the application runs, I'll put it in start a project and quickly check if it runs. So now we can also take a quick look into the code, how it's organized. It seems that it works. Yeah. So yeah, we have everything set up correctly. And well, yeah, obviously, if we want to migrate this application to Blazor or to any more modern web technology, there is a couple of things that we need to consider here. And the first thing is the data layer. And one of the things with web forms is that stuff, if you didn't architect properly from the start, maybe you started with web forms and yeah, you started coding away, and at a certain stage, everything might turn into a bit of spaghetti code. Yeah, that's one of the major disadvantages of web forms, because you can put your data access into the page, and you don't need to separate all kinds of things. So that's one of the things that we need to deal with, because Blazor requires you to set that up properly. Otherwise, don't use Blazor. The second thing is that there is styling, and there is DevExpress controls in this case, but it doesn't really matter whether it is DevExpress controls or any other control that runs in web forms. The rendering mechanism is different. The rendered output is probably different as well. So yeah, the styling needs to be over the CSS and the positioning, that all that stuff needs to be checked as well. And then we need to get rid of the ASPX code and get that into Razor controls. And so those are a couple of steps. And there are some projects out there that try to do the conversion for you, but what you'll see is that it is highly unlikely that that will succeed, because yeah, both technologies are so different in setup, and yeah, it's pretty difficult to convert something automatically on the fly. So what we do see is something that makes me happy, is that apparently this project is using Entity Framework. And that's the first step. The data access layer is probably set up quite nice. So if we're going to take a look in the app code folder here, we have the hotel booking entity context. And though, if I look at this code, this is Entity Framework 6. It is at least Entity Framework. So we do need to recreate that entity, the DB context on .NET Core because it was scaffolded slightly different. So this is good. All the classes are in here, everything is in here, so this is a good thing. What we further see is that there is a hotel booking extend, and this is also a good thing. So this, for instance, take this city, the city class. This is a partial class city, and it lives in the same namespace as those entity framework models like here. And these classes are all partial as well. So what that means is that this city class has these properties, but it also has a couple of other things. And it's got a display name, so some other properties are in here as well. So we need to take that into consideration as well, and we can probably copy that over. So that's one of the things that we need to be aware of. And while we're here, let's have a check at the data provider. This contains some static data, a report, because yes, we are using a report as well. And that can be, so this stuff can be put over quite easily with the exception of that first thing that we saw here. This is a bit of a thing. Sessions is not really something on Blazor anymore. So we need to deal with that on a different way, but that shouldn't stop us. Context base, what is this? This is for the demo purposes. We can skip that altogether. And the base page, yeah, that's a web page. We don't need that, but yeah. All right. So let's first start by going to the project that we want to migrate and add a number of packages, NuGet packages. One of them is Entity Framework. Where is my add packages thing? Yeah. Oh, what does it say? Oh, that can be updated. I'm first going to add Entity Framework Tools and Entity Framework SQL Server. So let's put that in. Like this. And let's put this in as well. And let's check what's going on here. We have that weather forecast. Okay, so as I noticed already, but in case if you didn't notice, I'll show it again. We need to rescaffold the database with the newer version of Entity Framework. And the reason for that is typically that shouldn't be an issue because the database has been set up properly. But a couple of classes and the way that it constructs these mappings and configures all that Entity Framework models is different on EF Core if you compare it with EF6. So for us, it's easier to rescaffold that again. And then we can make a start with the project. So for that, the most easy way to do that is by opening up the package manager console. And I'm going to paste in that line that I'm always using because I have a small notepad which holds a couple of commands that I use quite frequently. So in this case, I know the text is a bit small, but what I'll do is I do a scaffold db context with a connection string. And there is one extra thing that I did. I want to have to use database names. And why do I want to do that? Well, with Entity Framework 6, it will scaffold names with underscores and stuff, which are identical to the table names in the database. And I want to have those properties have the same name. Otherwise, I need to change that through code that I'm copying over. And so for that, I use the option use database names. And that allows Entity Framework scaffolding to create those similar names. The output there, I've specified that into the data models folder, so the namespace will change, but that's not really an issue. So let's see what happens here. It's giving me an error, and that is because I probably didn't build the application. I added a couple of things, and Entity Framework scaffolding requires you to build it then. So let's see what happens if I do it now. Hey, build succeeded. Should be good. Did I open it in the correct project? Yeah. Okay. Scaffold.
It says build succeeded, but then it's still popping that error.
Yeah, let me have a quick check if the packages are there that I needed, which is this one. There was something about those NuGet packages. I think we need to upgrade a couple of things. Wait a sec. There was something about a package with a warning. And what is
Yeah,
this?
it said it was deprecated or something.
Oh, that is this. Yeah, this is, but this is a package that I'm not even using, so that's kind of weird. Is that because of this? No. Hmm. Okay, well, that is really strange. Let me see if I set this as a startup project. I can never find that option here.
What option are you looking for, Don?
This one.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah,
I'm so what? How I'm so helpful.
I know, but I'm pretty sure that this is an undocumented feature in Visual Studio where they like move that item up and down every now and then, just to
Mess
annoy
with
me.
you?
Yeah, I think so. But what was quite funny is I was running this, and I'm pretty sure this was the WebForms demo. Let me close down a couple of things here. I was obviously having a whole bunch of things up and running. And let's try this again. Okay, yeah, so here we have our Blazor application that's running. And we're going to do the scaffolding again. We need that thing, obviously.
So I popped that second question in. If you are considering
Oh,
migrating,
yeah.
what technology are you considering?
Yeah, please.
Oh, let us know. You got Blazor, you got Angular, React, or Vue.js. or if
Yeah,
it's
maybe
something
there is
else.
more. I mean, you've got Swelter these days. You've got a whole bunch of Rust is I read a lot of things about Rust these days as well. I haven't taken a look at it, but I mean, it's always good to know what keeps you busy. And talking about busy, my scaffolding succeeded. So I did run the
Ta-da!
application, etc., and now it does work, which is also good. And what we have now is we have a models folder which holds all the entities and it holds the hotel booking context. But now it's in the newer syntax basically. So what we should do is we should have a quick check to see. I'm going to put it next to the original one. So this is, yeah, this is a bit small on the screen basically, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to open up this one as well, and let's hide this one for a sec. Because, yeah, what we need to do is we need to quickly screen over this stuff, and it is obviously about the cities. So cities, you see this is good. The features list from the old one is also the features list on the new one. So this looks quite good. So we don't need to do a lot of search and replace on those models because that takes some time as well. The only thing that I see different here is if I go to the hotel, to the picture, I think, what was it? I have hotel features. You see, this is feature and that is features. And guests is also different. Well, the easiest way, if you're going to go this approach, a good refactoring tool is obviously desperate needed in these occasions. So I can now, in my case, I will use Code Rush and I can say rename and I will change the names to guests. And that will make sure that all references in this case are updated. So the features list, the guests, hotel features is also plural. So hotel features, and that is hotel. And then we have the hotel image. Yeah, you see, it does scaffold a bit different, which is, yeah, a bit so-so. And let's go to metro area is also metro areas. I should put it in the same. It's also too bad that I didn't put it in the same order. Let me do that because this is not too easy. I have the guests and then I have hotel images. Let me copy that. And features should be here. And then I'll have the same with with metro areas. Other rooms is that? Yeah. Metro areas, picture, reservation. And then we have the review. It's going to be reviews. And then we have room, the room feature, and the room type. Okay. We will probably run into a couple of other things on this particular area. This is cities. Yeah, but I think that now we have the same database context, but now on Entity Framework Core. So that's the first thing that needs to be done. Let's
Okay.
close this one down. and that one as well. And let me open up my Solution Explorer again. So that is the first thing. Let's also add the connection to the app JSON. That's also something which is different. And so far, it's still doable. And now I'll copy that over from the web.config. So this was the hotel booking string. And I'm putting this right here. And another thing that we're going to do is we're going to configure our application to use that data context. So the way to do that is quite straightforward. So let's first put in a connection name, and that is this one. I mean, you can do this on various different ways, but this is typically something that I like doing. Connection string is builder.configuration, connection name, and if that's nothing, I can throw a new exception. Invalid. All right, so we have the connection string now, and now we can just
Hey,
do
Don, you
yeah.
misspelled missing.
Sorry.
Missing is misspelled.
Oh yeah, that was yeah. That
Yay,
was
I caught something
miscommunication.
in code.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna fix that. Uh, Services. Well, we weren't gonna see this message anyway because I first put it in the configuration file, and now we're yeah. Yeah. It's a good start for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a bit of a thing with the guy with the people in the US as well? By the way, that you have like those good how do you call it, like things you want to do for the new year, like quit
Resolutions?
smoking or stop drinking or I don't know, whatever. Like
A resolution?
yeah, something like that. Do
Yes.
you have any?
Uh, we don't have the time to get into it. Next time you have an error, I'll talk through my
I'm,
list of
I'm
resolutions.
tempted now.
Hmm.
At DB context, yeah, that was the hotel booking context, and then we'll have some options, and that will be options that use SQL with the connection string that we just got. Something like that. Okay, so I hate it when I can't read all the code. I recently saw some blog post from a developer, and he had like this wide screen, and he
Mm-hmm.
decided that when I turned that screen about like 30 degrees, he could see most code on one on one screen. He didn't need to scroll that much because the screen was like a bit tilted, you know?
What?
Yeah, he made up some calculations about it, and I thought, okay, this is going too far. You're writing too much code anyway. But we probably didn't discover the enter key. All right, so here we have, oh, I can get rid of, I'll leave it in the weather forecast. So let's quickly see if everything still runs. And enable, oh, something, something went down. And that is, let me show you, there is an invalid thing in the JSON file. Well, there is only one JSON file, which is the configuration. So while we'll check that, I'm very curious to your resolutions for 2024.
Well, I'm doing this thing called 75 hard, and
Yeah.
it's a challenge that you do with a group of people, and you have to do 2 workouts a day for 75 days.
Aha. And what kind of workouts are those?
I mean, it's a mix of walking. One has to be outside, and then one can be whatever you want. But
Okay.
I have a spin bike in my garage, so I do a lot of that.
Okay.
I have a dog, so there's a lot of walking involved there.
Yeah, I know the drill. So you still have about 60 days to go,
I
roughly.
don't. Oh my god! Don't put it like that. Jeez, I'm like one day at a time. One day at a time.
And counting down. Oh, yeah. All right. So in the meantime, I did fix that thing. I forgot a semicolon or a colon and a comma, whatever, in the JSON file. So at least application still looks the same, but we have a connection set up and we can use that. So let's get back because now I do want to include that that partial classes, this extend file. So I'm just going to copy that over and I will change the namespace. I will put it in the folder, the models folder as well. And in this case, let me check what the namespace here is. I'm going to use the same one. Otherwise, those partial classes will not be mixed because they're in a different namespace.
I just
So,
have to tell you, I'm so sorry, but S Prez commented on YouTube, you're missing a colon after connection strings in app
yeah,
settings. But they did that like forever ago, and
thank you.
thank
Thank you.
you. I said thanks, but I didn't even. Yep.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah. Good catch anyway. So, all right. So now I have those partials in the same namespace, and we can use this same functionality. And what is quite cool on this setup, but this is not a typical web forms setup. I mean, most web forms applications are, yeah, a bit. Yeah, I don't want to be like I don't want to offend anybody, but it's a more mixed data and UI together. This is quite nice structured in our demo application. But yeah, so this has been set up and now we'll have some fun because we can now start putting over some UI. And one of the things, let's have a check in the web forms application. So here, uh, let me see, we have a folder. Let's first take a look at the site.master, which is the master page of the application. And what we'll see is there is a couple of things that is included here. We have scripts, we have even jQuery, and we have styles.css. So another thing that we can safely do, I guess, is go to the content folder. And you know what? I'm just going to copy this whole content folder. because these are all static assets like CSS, images, all that kind of stuff. And because those are static assets, I can just put them in the root folder. I'll just copy it in here. There is now officially a bit of overhead because we will probably not be using this CSS and these images, but I mean, we're transforming that application. So with this in place, I can now go. There is a couple of things which is interesting to mention. There is in the master page a placeholder. There is a main placeholder, and there is, let's see, a bunch of web forms controls. There is also a footer placeholder. So I would typically like to use the same approach because we were gonna migrate into something more modern. So let's first get these ones. Let me see. I'm gonna copy over these and put them in my Blazor application, just like that. And in the Blazor application, we have a slightly new setup with Blazor 8. So now our main entry point in a Blazor server application is the app.razor file. This is where our all markup is put. And this is put in by our project template, but let's go here. And because we put that content folder in the www folder, it will just find it, and it's really no big deal. To overcome any issues, I will disable this one, but I will comment it out so I can always get back to it. This one I will need in case I want to have controls with embedded CSS. This one I'm going to keep as well because that's needed by our controls. And with this head outlet, we typically already have a replacement. Where was that thing? Hey, is it gone? The master page had this head content placeholder. Well, that is that thing that I was just pointing out. And so that's for this. But now it has the routes component. And if we go there, we'll have the routing logic of the Blazor application. And now we can switch over to our main layout. So this is typically what is between the body tags. Well, and this is all set up with the grid layout, etc., but we will not be needing that. So I'm just gonna strip a lot of things out except for that body, because this is our new master page. But the only issue is that with Blazor, it's not too easy to have like those different blocks. You only have that body here. So now we need to take a look at a couple of things. So let's get to that site.master. The form, I won't be needing that. You know what? I'm just going to copy over this entire stuff. The page tag we already have. Let me have a quick check. Yeah, so I'll copy this over and put it in my main layout. Just like this. So now I have my web forms markup into my Blazor. And the only thing that I need to do is I need to put that body somewhere. In this case, we will be chucking away most of this stuff. The only thing that I'll leave is this header. I'll comment that out. And I'm going to get rid of this again. because now we need to set up something where we can put in that footer content as well as that body content. And that header control, I'll check out in a minute what that does, but let's first set that approach up. For that, I will create a control, a Blazor component, and I'm calling that page control. And what I'll do here is let me add two properties, which are actually parameters of type render fragments. And the first one is the body content. Oh. And the second one is that footer block. So now we can have a page, we can have pages which only include that footer and that body. And if I now go back to that master page, I can copy that stuff again. Put it in here and remove a couple of things. So the main, this is going to be rendered the body content. And here I'm going to be rendering that footer content. So now we can mimic typically the same behavior with this approach. And the only thing now we need to do is change a couple of things here. So for instance, this is going to be date time. And we need to change this. This is going to be a hyperlink. So href. I still don't get this trick. I'm gonna put this into a blank one. And then we need an image, which will have a source like this. And yeah, we're going to replace this with this. Oh, and the styling. It's going to be taken over as well. I'd rather do this inline. So this is 172 pixels. And 35. And now I need the navigate URL. I could have figured that out without looking at it. So, and with this, I can remove this control. Yeah, so typically if you would talk about like a conversion tool or whatever, yeah, it could find these kind of patterns and replace it with constructs like this. I mean, if we would get a bit insane, we could maybe even do it with like a regular expression search and replace. But yeah, this is typically a simple thing to transform. So now this page is all, yeah, this should render properly. And now I can go to the main layout. Now let me see, here's the body. I need to deal with the render. If I go to the index page, I can now remove this and put in that control. Oh, there is not even any code in here. I can now put in my page control that I just built, and that thing has a uh, what was it? A body content, and it's got a footer content. And if we now check out the default ASPX page, which is that web forms page, I can scroll down. There's a whole bunch of code in here, and we're gonna be dealing with a couple of things here today, but not all. Well, just a few, because we're almost running for an hour. But at least the footer content can be done, and I'm gonna do a couple of other things here. I'm copying over the entire contents of this this main content. So that's this stuff. Put it in the Razor file. And I'm gonna strip out a couple of things. And this is obviously, well, we have done quite some preparations now, but what you'll see in a minute, probably, is these docking things. That's gonna be an interesting issue, but not for today. Because there is obviously the thing that we have a massive amount of super nice web forms controls. And yeah, unfortunately, we are working very hard to this, but our component palette on Blazor is not at the same amount and the same features that we already have for web forms, because web forms, we had way more time building it.
Right.
So we have to, we will face a couple of interesting issues to see how we can, yeah, we have to see how we can deal with that. And so I've got a couple of ideas, and I'm going to be honest, I need to check it out if it works. And I will definitely show you once I have that. But for now, I will strip out the ASPX controls. So I have typically now plain HTML, but you might have noticed that there is not any Bootstrap code in there, because this app is not built with Bootstrap. And one thing that I want to change is the title, because there was a title which is probably, where was it? Here. Like this. Index Razor. I will change this though. So, well, I think we can take it for a run and see what it does. Oh, that is too bad.
Let's see what it does. Wah,
Yeah, that is
wah.
that extension. It is, let's see if we can quickly fix that. That has to do with the scaffolding. You know, the scaffolding on the Entity Framework core has some, yeah, some small changes in naming and stuff. So that is quite annoying. I think this was hotels, if I remember correctly. If I hit this, no, that was not hotel. I have to go back here. Hotel. And that hotel, let's have a check, has a property with city. Ah, here it is. Yeah. think this is something that I wanted to not happen, but unfortunately we can't have everything. All right. Oh yeah, this is another thing. Pictures.
Pictures
Which
is
is
not
an
a
eye
thing.
collection. Okay, so I can take first instead of that one. I'm not gonna even. I'm not even checking out the second one. It is now a collection, and it used to be probably an array in the old entity framework. So
Mm.
now I have to get that second element by skipping the first one and then do first. And oh, the data provider. Let me see. Let's. What does it do? This is the rating. I will just return 0 right now because I wanted to show the results as we had so far. Cities. Okay, we can check that easy. That was this one. Okay, voila. And before I forget, this is what I typically do when migrating or doing these kind of projects. That data provider, I need to, yeah, I'm going to say a to do with it so I can remember it later on. I can search
Okay.
for to do and I'll see when, oh, yeah, I commented that out. Yeah, so,
Got it.
well, here
Aha.
is our first effort with the, yeah, this is our hotels application running on Blazor. It's a bit empty, but
Got to start somewhere.
yeah, exactly. I mean, do we have still some time, or are we already? Are
I mean,
people
we're
done?
at an hour.
Yeah. Let's have a really small peek here because there was this one thing. It couldn't be too much. If I check out, where did I put it? Oh, it was in the layout here. That header control. Let me see what it does. Maybe it's just small and we can like put it in. That will probably be here. Header control. Oh wow.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
uh,
Hmm. Next time?
yeah, ain't gonna happen today, I guess. All right. But anyway,
So you're done after looking at that.
yeah, we have now, yeah, what we have done is we've taken a look at the current application. We have set over a couple of things, and what is interesting to mention is maybe there is the impression that yeah, Blazor only works with Bootstrap. Well, as you can see, the layout, I didn't change anything on it. I mean, I just copied it over and I changed the images and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't change anything, and still it renders perfectly on Blazor as well. Everything is good, and now we need to work on the special offers. We had something in the middle here. We have on the banner there was the search box. So if we would go to the other page, I don't have it anymore. That is a bit of a shame. If I set as a startup project. So this is the original. So the header is something that needs to be done. We need to work on that hotel search box with data access. But at least this stuff looks quite similar. You see?
Hmm.
So, yeah,
So next time.
that's the plan. And when is the next time?
That's a great question. Let me look at my calendar. So your next one will be January 30th. So 2 weeks from today.
One day
Uh,
after my birthday.
the day after your birthday.
Uh-huh.
Your birthday is the 29th?
Excellent. Yes.
Are you an Aquarius?
Sorry. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Me
I am.
too, Don.
When is your birthday?
February 18th.
Yeah, it's not too much of a difference. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm at the very cusp of Aquarius,
Yeah.
Pisces.
I'm right in the middle, I
Yeah,
think.
you're right in the middle. All right, so yeah, January 30th will be our next one. So if you want to continue on this journey with Don and migrating this WebForms app to Blazor, join us on January 30th.
Absolutely.
All right. All right, everybody. So if you haven't already, you should follow us and turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. Tomorrow, Don will be back with Gregory doing DevExtreme and React at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if that's something you're interested in, you can join Don and Gregory tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for that. All right, everybody. Thanks, Don. See you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.